This week on the Grand Theory podcast.
Yeah. Now the next question I have for you is, when do you know to build a team?
And how do you pick, how do you choose a team? Because what if you choose?
I think Michael can talk better on that.
Michael
is the team guy.
Because like no, the reason why.
Well, I'm gonna shop my shop. 1% better. Putting that work. 1% better.
Yo,
Yo, we in the building. What's going on, my man?
I'm doing good. Popping.
This guy has me on this chair with no back support.
Bro, I had to go through the struggle last week. What you mean?
You're lucky I have a strong back, huh?
Mm-hmm. That's what we use it to all those stuff.
Yo.
I'm not gonna put you on blast. I'm gonna see. You know what I told you? Listen, the people out there. I'm gonna let Kyrie expose him. I'm not gonna expose.
Yo, Kerry, we're not having you back on no more, man.
Listen, see,
I'm sorry, bro.
Sorry. Have you, man.
Sorry, bro.
We're gonna put Aquille and Ore to the wall. You know.
You know what? We'll have you back on, but we're gonna make you sign a contract before you come back on.
Nah, bro. Listen, see.
Non-disclosure.
Listen, see. I edit. Remember, I still with you in the same house too. So I'm just gonna put my phone, just record it, and then put like, this is what Aquille and Ore does.
That's true. It's okay. Okay.
Anyways, how you been, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I can't complain. You know, what we do first things first.
Always, you know, the big man up there.
Always. First things first. We got to give thanks to God.
Yes, sir.
Because He is the reason that we could be here in the first place, to do the podcast, that we're alive, that we have energy, you know, everything like that. So, first things first, we want to thank God for giving us the ability to be here, for our guests, our listeners, everyone out there. So, first things first, thank God.
Yes, sir.
Now for the recap from last episode.
Go on, man.
We had the guy Ryan McKenzie on.
The traveling
man. You know, yeah, it was a great episode.
Yeah.
It was an episode where one of the big things that he brought up was being the freedom to be yourself.
Yeah.
You know, the freedom of being yourself, staying true to yourself.
Yeah.
Not only that, but also traveling, you know, getting to travel and experience different things, because when you travel, you get to experience how different people live. You see different cultures, different styles, different everything, you know?
I remember the man saying he wish he went to Croatia alone.
Yeah, you wish you went someplace you want to go alone, you know? So no, it was a great episode. Lots and lots of gems. Make sure you guys go and check that out. But today we got a new victim in the building. We should say victim, maybe our guest. I guess we got a new guest in the building.
Yes, sir.
So today, our guest is originally born in Rwanda.
Africa, man. I like
and they came to Canada around 12 years old. Came to Canada, and they wanted to become an artist at age 14.
Jeez.
And not only that, but from that passion that he had as an artist, he decided to do audio engineering, where he did a portion of his audio engineering at Grant McEwen, and his other half he studied at I might mess up the word of this called Pixel Blue University.
Yes.
Not only that, but this guest that we have on has his own podcast, which is called the Building Bridges Podcast, where actually on the episode they were able to interview the Commissioner of Police. So make sure you guys go check that out. Not only that, but he also has his own studio, the Commudio. So without further ado, let us introduce Alain Intwali.
Nice. Gee. No, I'll put the sound effect. Don't worry. The clapping sound effect.
Need some glasses.
Yo, okay. Nah, I see.
Yo.
You know,
Yo.
This guy messed it up. Messed up the mic.
What he do?
So my guy,
Thank you for
in the
having
building.
me.
I like the choice, the hat, the bucket hats. You know,
You see,
we out here.
you see, these
Yeah.
guys,
Look at this guy.
they left me alone.
I got
Yeah,
people out there spying on you to make sure you're not pull up and I'm
You
wearing.
know what I'm saying? Bucket hat, all black in
Yeah,
the
what is
building.
he wearing? You know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame him though. You know, after I shit him so much and then the middle
You know,
spot, that's why.
This guy shitted me until I lost all my hair. Can't even take this hat off no more.
I actually don't usually wear bucket hats. I never worn one. But
Really?
today I was just, you know what? I'm going to just rock it.
Yeah,
I like
this-
And then I
See,
come out and I'm like, hey,
inspiration.
hey,
You know what,
listen.
though? I messed up. I should have taken a fisherman hat.
You should
I
have.
should have. I messed
should
up.
have.
It
You
is
should
what
have.
it is. It is what it is. Anyways, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Don't
Oh,
worry.
I almost forgot. I almost
bro.
forgot.
Nah, we need to get that, bro. For real,
We
that
do.
night, bro.
We do.
Won't get. I told you no medal, cause bro. Gonna
I
chase-
want medal.
bro,
I
gonna
want it to
chase-
be real,
bro,
man.
Gonna chase the guest away, bro.
Listen, we didn't come on no
Hey,
fake
let's do it.
podcast, man. No fake podcast, man.
Let's get it.
Straight
Yeah.
Let's
Let's get it.
dissection time.
sir.
So, my man Alan,
What do you do?
tell us about what it was like being born in Rwanda, what it was like growing up, and tell us some of your most memorable experiences or memories from back home and from growing up.
Well, it was a rough start. I was born in the middle of the famous genocide.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah. So
Let me.
where pretty much both my parents were the group that was being hunted
Really?
and killed.
Damn.
Yeah. When I was born, it was towards the end of it.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was still one of those scenarios where the hospital I was in, it was still protected by the army. And, there was like security, crazy security checks, right?
That's scary.
Yeah. So I was pretty much born on the move. And grew up, 2, 3 years old. I'm seeing, there's like gunshots all over this bicycles. Yeah, the genocide is officially done, but there's still like the leftovers.
Yeah, after
And
effects.
they're kind of cleaning up at the last minute type thing. Went to school. When the first time I went to school, I remember one of the most interesting stories, sad too, is my school was called Camp Kigali.
Okay.
Kigali is the capital city of Rwanda, and this school used to be a military base. Yeah, so they cleaned up the top part and they made it a school.
Okay.
But the side on the south still has tanks and all that stuff. So during the break, we'll go in the tanks and roll the guns up, and
Like,
yeah. But obviously, it got no ammunition in
no,
there.
okay.
Yeah, but you play with the guns, you point them in different directions, and then one of the times, teachers would obviously like not be happy with that, so they would come out and get us out of there. So this one day, just like every other day, we go in there, we're playing, and then somebody looked in the mirror and they saw a teacher coming from behind. Yo, we're all gonna run. Somebody jumped and then they landed on a landmine. So boom! So like a bunch of kids just went flying, man. I was a youngin', but I remember seeing parts and parts over there. So yeah, it was a rough start.
Damn.
Yeah, but life got better. Obviously, by the time I left there, Rwanda was like the 13th country in the world, the safest country in the world, 13th safest country in the world.
So that was a big shift though from since you were growing up initially what it was like at first.
Yeah.
To that. So like how was that shift? Like did you notice it gradually or was it like instantly like
I think because when you think about it, when 1 million people die in 3 months,
Damn. It's a big number.
everybody's at some point, everybody's just like, okay, we're done with this.
yeah.
Yeah. So when the government, the current government took over, it was easier to just start the reconciliation program and kind of push people in different directions, especially because everybody was like, yeah, we don't want to do none of this.
Yeah.
Right. So it was all they needed was guidance, and they did get guidance, and from there everybody was just like, yeah, we're neighbors. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So sorry, just to stay on that is how did that like I mean like I would think that obviously had an impact on you like going forward in your life, right?
Yeah.
Like seeing that at a young age, that's
Yeah,
something
scary.
that's a traumatic experience,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So how would you say like what effects did that have on you like growing up, like throughout your childhood or into adulthood?
It shaped my it shaped me in ways that I'm starting, even like the older I grow, the more I start looking back and I'm like, oh yeah, these stories that they're telling me now, it makes sense why this part of me functions the way it does. So there's a big chunk of it that I still have to unfold. It's been a learning experience because, you know, like we never got that chance to really process it. You know, it's just like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of kids like legs and, you
That's
know,
scary, bro.
hands and all that. And then you go back to school the next day. Like
That's
nothing happened, right?
That's scary.
That's actually
Yeah.
wow.
That's very scary.
Yeah, so you get back and you start thinking about it.
it.
Now I can process it and be like, whoa, like that was actually crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And also just teach you resilience, man. Like hold together, and I think I'm one of those like biggest optimists, and I think it comes from that too. Just seeing how a country literally was like went to shit, and then within like a period of like, if you look at Rwanda right now, it's like an exemplary country, right? So that kind of brought that optimism out of me. And, yeah.
Okay, so I have another question. So would you say when you, like, we don't really fully know the story of when you moved away from Rwanda to Canada, but my question is, when you came here and you saw the lifestyle, where you were like, damn, a lot of people don't understand how lucky they're here, like how lucky they are with what they have. Would you say you saw that? Or-
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. To this day, like when I hear people just like the things we take for granted, it's just like, you know, like, bro, like there's people literally like who would kill to have the simplest things that we have here, right?
Yeah.
There's people who still walk miles and miles to go get water to cook.
True.
And we're here, you know.
Yeah,
True,
just wasting water and stuff
Yeah,
like
even
that.
like even the basic like electricity. Some countries don't have 24/7 light.
Yeah.
With internet, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
like
internet.
bro, for real. Like you can go out, charge your phone, go out, and you know that when I get home, I'm gonna have light. Some countries like, nah, that's not possible.
Yeah.
The moment you have light, you gotta plug your phone in to charge, or like internet, like the basic necessity. They don't have it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's I guess that's why same thing with Ryan. Like when you travel to those different countries and you see the lifestyle, you be like, okay, now like I gotta think, like I appreciate what I have.
It puts things into perspective for you, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's actually why like a lot of people from third world countries or from like foreign countries, when they come to Canada, they do so well because like they're coming from their country where they can see like that it's not. There's so many things opportunities that we don't have. You know what I'm saying? And then you come here, like back home in St. Vincent, it's nice, but there's lots of opportunities for things that you can do here that you can't do back there.
Yeah.
So when you come here, you're like, oh, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, right? So I think that's really cool.
Nice.
So so you came here when you were about 12 years, right? So kind of tell us about how that process. How did you end up coming to Canada?
I was just one of those lucky ones. My dad made it here first. Yeah, and he was lucky to get the citizenship. And obviously, just like every other parent, man, like you want the best for your children, right? And at the time, the schooling is definitely much better here and what have you. So yeah, it's just like, yeah, come for a better, in search for that better life, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
So now you get to Canada here now, right? Now you see it's like a whole different environment, a whole different atmosphere. Like, what was your first kind of initial, like when you got here, what was your
culture
first,
shock? I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna probably sound stupid, but I don't care. We say we're gonna
unadulterated, unfiltered.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Yeah, people kissing in public.
PDA.
Specifically kissing.
Yeah.
I'm used to this.
Whoa! I'll get you guys a room. Like shit. Like I was on a train.
Yep.
Yeah, I was on the train and then I saw this couple. You know, it's like PDA, and I'm already like weirded out.
Yeah.
You know. And then they started like making out in the train.
And my guy was like, what's this? What's this?
I called my uncle. He was back home. I called him. I was like, you cannot believe this. And he's like, he was also like, oh, if I was there, I'll probably go to jail. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, I'll probably like punish these people because that's the mentality they have.
That's true. That's true.
No, there's no, there's no like.
PDA. You can't do PDA. You can't do PDA back
That was
home.
the
Nah.
first
That's
thing that I was
actually
like, I was
That's true.
shocked, man. And then
That's true. Yeah,
That's actually
it's
true.
it's in Canada, like Western countries where people just kiss outside. Back home,
I don't see
'cause-
that. No,
'cause- yeah, you don't see
I
that,
never
yeah.
thought about that, but actually, I
Yeah.
don't see that. I don't actually ever notice that
Yeah,
back
you
home.
don't. Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't.
you
Nah,
don't,
you don't.
Huh.
yeah, and then you get, and then I go to class to school, and you probably connect with this because you're from Africa.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Caribbean system, but it's most likely the same thing. Calling your teacher by name.
Oh,
That's true.
Boy,
never, bro. Never.
That's true. That's true.
Backhand.
That's true, bro. That's true.
Never,
That's true,
bro.
bro. You always got
Backhand.
to put the Mister.
Bro,
Not even Mister for us. You
Yeah.
have to say teacher.
teacher. That's true.
Yeah,
that's
and then
true.
I say teacher, and my teacher looked at me. He's like, "Yo, like call me Del Chopo, bro."
Yeah.
And then
Call
I was
me-
like,
call me
I was
Ryan, or
uncomfortable.
Call me something. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I was uncomfortable.
That's true.
bro, that's something that hit me too. Is like, bro, I always say like auntie or uncle or
something.
your pops or
Yeah.
your like never by the first name
name.
because that's like ultimate
Backhand, bro.
disrespect,
Like,
man.
That's
yo.
true. That's true. That's
You
true.
you know what's gonna happen to you if you call
Yeah.
somebody by their first name?
That's true.
Even if there's like, because back home, they're like anyone that's older than you can discipline you.
Yeah, facts.
Like, you
Even
can
if,
get-
even if it's just a year, bro. Like,
Even if it's a
literally.
year, you can get
That's true.
disciplined.
Yeah, it's whoop.
So you think you could call somebody by their first name, bro?
Yeah. I mistakenly texted one of my aunties. She lives in South Africa, and I forgot to put auntie.
Mm.
And then she calls me like a couple of weeks later, and she's like, "You think we're friends now? I'm
You're
not
a
your
big man
friend.
now? Think you're a big
I'm your
man now?
auntie." I'm like, whoa! I'm sorry. I didn't even notice what I did there.
No, but you know what though? I think like it's like little small changes, but I think that those little things they make a big impact because like it's like a discipline thing,
Yeah.
right? It's like when you're home and you're calling everybody by their like not by their first name, either like your auntie this or uncle this or whatever like that. It's
yeah.
like a respect thing.
Yeah.
You come here and call someone by their first name, but like hey yo Kate or whatever like that. It's like they don't notice it, but I feel like it's like a disrespect thing. You know what I'm saying?
Low-key,
Like
yeah,
it's like
true,
a.
true.
That's why I feel like people that are from third world countries are like they have like different values
yeah,
and
values and
morals. You
stuff.
know what
Yeah,
I mean?
true.
Like a different.
That's true.
Here's an interesting thing about that too. Is like whenever, at least I'm speaking from my experience, people that I know that are around me or that I went to school with, you always find that people with African Caribbean origin,
Yeah.
they come in too. There's those who are extremely respectful, extremely, like chill and laid back, and you're my elder, I respect you. And then there's the ones that are just like
This rude.
yeah,
Rude man.
yeah. But when I started looking at it, it was when I was in high school, and I would just see these kids that are just like, yeah, like I might disagree with the teacher, but yeah, they didn't do anything that would cause you to cuss them out, right? And I started just realizing that is when you get here and you see how the system is, some people just take advantage of it and abuse it, right? Oh, so if I cuss my teacher out, they're not gonna beat me up. Oh, so I'm just gonna do it,
Yeah.
right?
Bro,
Because for
that's
too long
whooping.
you've been in
That's
an
true.
environment where you
Just
just
living in fear.
Realistically,
now
yeah,
you can
bro.
let it out.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you can let go and just leave out. That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
No,
But
that's
back
true.
home, just a small mistake, my guy, bro.
Oh,
Yeah, ass
my
whooping, bro.
Oh.
Double, man. These guys give me memories, man. Jesus.
Yo.
Woo.
Yeah, but
You know what though? Like, I don't miss. Not that I don't miss. I don't regret any of the beatings and all that I got when I was back home,
Yeah.
man. Because I think that stuff, like, if they didn't beat me or they didn't discipline me,
You'd have probably
Bro,
got worse. Yeah, it's true.
time out and stuff is
yeah,
not gonna work
it has.
for me, man.
Like the thing about yeah, true. No. Realistically, like the thing about that ass whooping is that, bro. There's the pro and there's the con. The pro is it depends on what you do. If you do like a stuff where I know that it's very addictive, I don't care if I will whoop your ass. But like if it's something that is just like talking, there's some stuff that you can just have a conversation and work. But there's some stuff that if it's addictive or it can leave an addictive trait, nah, man, you gotta get because when you get that ass whooping, the next time you want to do it, you be like, yo, shit. My ass go red, go, oof, nah, run away from it. You know what I mean?
think about
so
it.
it's also I don't know, man. Like I used to think like that, and I'm not saying I don't,
Yeah.
because I'm still in between. Like I always wonder because I feel like the system that they have here
yeah,
also works if not taken advantage of. Like
Yeah.
if put to use in the right way, it's very effective
But
because you create a relationship with your son, with your
True,
daughter.
but
right?
this is what the problem is. It's hard for kids, especially at a young age, that you see an opportunity and not take advantage of. You know what I mean? When you see that you can do something bad, and the worst you just have is a conversation.
But even with that, though,
yeah.
right? Because to me, the way I look at it, for me, it's like, and I've been having this conversation with my dad recently, dude, just about things around, and I don't know, maybe he also has a background in business and where I am in life in terms of the business side of things. But I'm a firm believer in just like failing, man. Right? So like if the kid, I give myself as an example.
Yeah.
I was exposed to the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I was in circles where they would do like all kinds of drugs, man. I'll be that guy sitting in the middle and I'll be passing it to the next person. But never, not once have I touched any of that. Put it on my mouth, right? So, and that's that relationship that I built with my parents, for example, right? My dad was never one to beat me a whole lot, right? But he would just sit me down and tell me, hey, this is this pros, this is the cons of this thing, right? And if you choose this is
Your choice.
where it's gonna take you.
Yeah.
If you choose this is what's gonna happen. Right? And since then it was more of like, okay, I was always given choices. And then I would choose this or that, right? But when I chose that, even when I chose the bad thing, the first thing he always asked my mom was like, does he still go to school? My mom would be like, yeah. He's like, okay, he's gonna be all right. Just give him time. Right? And once you build that relationship
with them,
because you gotta do these things, man. You gotta fail. Imagine the things that you look back on and that shapes you today.
Yeah, true. No,
and
true.
if your parents knew that you're doing them back
Oh,
then,
definitely, yo. Oh, no.
it would have been a different case.
Oh,
right?
no. Yeah. No. Like, I agree with you. Like, it helps. Like, the biggest thing I just think is, like, knowing your kid. Because, like, for example, your dad probably understood you. You knew that even if you made your mistake, like, whatever mistake you made, you still had the ability to still bounce back from it. Or you still have the ability to, like, still respect that freedom. Because it is a freedom, technically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, especially if you're still living with them, it's a different, like, it's still a freedom. But, like, what I'm saying is, like, a lot of kids, from what I've seen, is they give them that freedom and then they overuse it. That's what I was saying about that ass whooping. Because, like, if it was, for example, I have a kid where, oh, you're free to go out with your friends, whatever, but then you overuse it and then you disrespect that freedom. That's when the ass whooping comes in.
There's gotta be a balance of
Like,
both.
there has to be a balance of both. Like, because you can give them the freedom, but I'm like, especially when you're growing up, when they give you so much freedom, you don't know what to do. You know what I mean?
You know what I think? I think every kid is different.
Yeah.
Because not every kid needs to get whooped, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But,
yeah.
like, I know for me personally,
You
talking
have
to me is not gonna work. Like,
Yeah.
like it's just not. Like, I'm stubborn, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if you talk to me, or if like you put me in timeout, I'll probably just jump out the window or something, or like do something else, go back out to the same thing.
Yeah.
So me getting those
ass whooping, yeah,
was
needed.
like, because I
Yeah,
was
it
like,
needed.
yo, I don't want to get this again,
Yeah.
even though I still did it, but it taught me
helped you.
valuable lessons,
Yeah.
right? It made me more disciplined with it. But
Yeah.
I think everyone is different because I
Yeah.
don't think everyone needs that.
So,
Like,
yeah.
my sister wasn't getting beat like that, right?
Yeah.
She was getting talked to, but like it was effective for her,
Yeah.
right? So I think everyone is
Just gotta
just
find out.
different.
Just figure out what works best. By either you have a conversation 1-2 times. If it fails, try the ass whooping, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, that stuff, like, low key though, it did it like instigate like fear in you though. Sometimes it really did.
It did.
Especially when you did something bad and you want to like, hey mom, hey dad, I'm trying to do this. You'd be like, that's the only downside from it.
But I feel like this is why, like what I said, I was conflicted on where I stand on that. And I think I lean more towards the like building the relationship without the physical punishment, because what I find, man, is as you grow, you start resenting your people, right? Because they've installed fear in you, right? You don't do this not because you don't want to do it, but because you're afraid of getting hit,
Yeah.
right? And if that's the reason why you're not doing it, how long will it take until you actually be like, yo, F this.
Yeah.
I want to do it. And now you're the outcast, right?
Yeah.
How many of these girls that we see that are very controlled in their households,
Yeah.
daughter of a pastor, right?
Yeah, true.
Oh, you go to church and then 3-4 years later they have a child with no husband,
outside,
like
yeah,
all of these
yeah,
things, right?
yeah.
And this is that time comes where they're just like, yeah, like, okay, enough is enough. And then now it has to be violence, right? If I walk out of the house, you have to physically
Come on, attack me.
yeah, we have to go at it, right?
Yeah.
That's where I think most of it leads, and that's why for me it's more like their conversations can be adjusted in a sense.
Yeah.
More serious, less serious. You just find different ways to
Balance
get
it.
into
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
conversation mode. But definitely, man, because I can't say that I regret any ass whooping I've gotten, man. I cannot say I do. That's what it's like.
Because that's the thing. They teach you valuable lessons. And,
Yeah.
and kind of what you said too. The one thing that you said that I really, really liked was that the like leaning into that failure, you know? Like one of the big things that we talk about on the podcast is the struggles and the obstacles, right? That people face. Because like I find this from what I've observed, right, is that people might shy away from those things. Oh, failure, it's like, oh, it's a bad
Scary,
thing.
yeah.
Right? You get this negative connotation with failure. But like all the people that succeeded and that do great things, you know, they had to, like, you didn't just, like, you had to fail.
Yeah.
You had to fail and see, okay, and improve and keep going. Like Nipsey Hussle says, he says that there's no secret to, like, what he did. It's just that he just didn't quit.
Yeah, just
Like,
kept
because
going.
along the way, he had obstacles, he had struggles along the way. Went to jail, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's different obstacles, but because he did not quit, that's when you start seeing, like, success and
Results.
things start working
Yeah.
in your favor.
Yeah.
So just kind of jumping from that, you said that you're also an artist,
Yeah.
right? So kind of how did that start? Like, where did that inspiration come from? Kind of what led you into that? What drove you into that?
Generally, I come from a family of musicians. On my mom's side, my two uncles were like big artists back home. Played on radios and on national television.
Okay.
So because of that, I kind of started to, well, actually, from the time I can remember, I was just always interested in music. And whenever I would watch, there was like this news program that would happen, and then right after that, there was like, it was a TV show. I can't remember the name of it, but it was just talking about the top 20 of that week or something like that.
Yeah.
I would just be like,
Glued to
just
it.
posted,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. And then I cannot remember the song, but there's a song that I was watching a video, and one time I just saw like a mixing board, those big mixing boards.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that one.
That's the one.
I gotta operate one of those at some point. And then the love of the behind the scenes, the mixing, the mastering started coming from just me operating on that machine, you know? Yeah, and then the more I got to know it a little bit better, then the more I actually fell in love with it more, and it just became a thing.
became
Nice.
a thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So I noticed like that all the things that you kind of did are kind of connected to that passion of music, right? Like you, after, you know, realizing that passion and seeing the mixing board of wanting to mix, then you also went into becoming going to study audio engineering. But when we were talking, what led to that? What led to you making a decision like, hey, you know what, I think I want to do audio engineering? Was it strictly just because you wanted to mix and master, or was there other factors that influenced that?
It was generally one of my biggest influences in music to get all together was just like Timbaland and Dr. Dre.
Okay.
And that's one thing that they always had. They had the producing, mixing, mastering thing behind them.
Nice.
Although they're artists as well. But I even got more inspired when I got here and I started just watching how I had the passion to write, I had the passion to record, but then you go to a studio and they'll charge you $75 an hour.
Now.
And at that time, you don't have a job, right? And you're
Yeah,
like, you
yeah,
know what? I don't have a job, but I can still get admitted to college.
Yeah.
Yeah, true still.
You know?
That's true. That's true. That's a bar right there.
So I just took
That's true
that.
still. That's true still. I took that route. Nice. Because like in school, you pay the money and then you have a studio to do your stuff in.
Yes.
While learning the skill.
And that's like actually my so yeah, like I did go to school and I didn't like the theory part. I just like to practice because I get to use the equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when I got into Pixel Blue, that's the biggest part of it, man. Like, from you're only in class the first week, and then the last week. Anything in between, you're in studio.
Damn.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Like in the the actual physical studio.
Actual physical studios.
So it's is the class held there, or are they just?
So the class, your desk technically has a producer kit.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
sick.
that's
Yeah,
sick.
so you
That's
have
actually
your
sick.
workstation.
Oh, that's
and
actually
then we
sick.
have a main studio
That's-
outside.
wow.
Like
That's
the
sick.
next room is an actual studio.
The university in where's university?
Yeah,
at?
it's a college,
Okay.
Pixel Blue College.
Where's
It's
that?
actually downtown.
Okay.
Oh, it's in
they have a
It's
branch. Yeah, they
Edmonton?
have a branch
Oh.
downtown.
That's
in,
what I wanted to know. It's in Edmonton.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Do you
right on Empire State Building on Jasper.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you remember how much it cost
About 16
for the whole program?
for a year. 16
For
a
a
year.
year?
Yeah,
It's pretty decent.
yeah.
bad.
It's good.
I think that's actually.
The value is really good.
Because you have a free studio. Sorry, you paid for it, but you have like a studio with all the equipment you need.
24-hour
24
access.
hours for
Oh,
a
you go-
year.
Yeah, they
anytime.
give you those proxy cards where you can.
Yo.
Can you
Yeah.
always bring in someone like to record?
Absolutely.
What?
24.
That's a-
Yeah, and
Yeah, they
even
gotta,
when
they
you
gotta,
leave- yeah.
put that on blast, man. Ain't nobody know what.
Like even when I left, even today I can still go use the studio there.
Really.
Yeah, because you build a relationship with them, and they want you to be successful, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's even programs that I've ran at my studio that I just hit them up. Hey, you got your students that wants to spend some time in the actual studio. Bring them out.
Yeah.
I mean, we've exchanged things like that, right?
Damn.
Yeah,
Nice.
and the guys, the teachers are crazy, man. The instructors their resumes are impressive. Like this guy was on like, he never really liked to say it because I think it's a lot of the politics behind the scenes, but he's on like some mainstream stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he would come to school and he would tell us some shit, and we was like, like things that would happen 5 years down the road. He's like, yo, we're working on this.
Oh, that's sick.
And then 5 years later, so I would be looking like this, like a sidekick. I'll go to my house and be like, yo, trust me, Jay-Z about to drop an album, Jay-Z about to drop an album, and then Beyonce about to drop an album, and then they're going to drop a joint album. Watch this.
And then boom.
I got an inside
Yeah.
link.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
and then it happened. And
And then 5 years later,
boom. Right in front of
yeah,
you.
it
Damn.
happens.
dope.
Yeah, so like they're very well connected, and they're so sweet. They're so nice. One of the guys was my instructor was Amish, crazy guy, amazing skill, and 24 hours you have studio access. If you have an issue, even after you graduate, you can always email him and he can come and help you out and things like that. Yeah, man, he's come to my studio a couple of times. Good people, man. Really good people.
That's very, very cool. We're gonna drop the links
Pixel
to that.
Blue.
That's
Pixel
very,
Blue,
very,
yeah.
very
Pixel
cool,
Blue
man.
College. Pixel
That's
Blue
very,
College.
very-
Curtis
that's very, very
Greenland.
cool, man.
Shout out. Yeah.
That's very, very cool. Shout out, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
That's crazy though. Nice.
Yeah, but that inspired me. And then when you go there in the first week and you see how everything is, you're just like, okay, I actually like really have passion for this.
It's-
Yeah. That when I graduated, I still wanted to do another year.
Yeah.
Like, yo, like, you sure?
Yeah.
This done? Like, I can't stay another year? Yeah. It was a very good experience.
But that's good though, because that you can say that's actually a passion of yours. It's
Yeah.
not just
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
an actual passion of yours. And
Yeah.
I can see that not only with you going to that school, but I can see it with everything that you're doing. Because as an artist, then you went into audio engineering, and then you ended up starting your own studio.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. What led you to start your own studio?
yeah.
And like I know, actually, okay, I'm just gonna ask you, what led you to start your studio first?
Biggest thing is because the reason why I went to audio engineering school was because studios and engineers were not accessible to people like me, right? So when I was put in a position, which was honestly a blessing, I just thought about that. I thought about how me and my homeboy Selassie would bike to White Ave to go to J Stocks. Shout out to J Stocks, man, good people, right? But he had a business to run,
Yeah.
right? But still, prices were not it. But we'll go in there and hustle, make some money, and then me and him, we used to us on a bike, go to White Ave and get one track done because we only had like an hour window and. We have this other track now. We have to go work, so we can go in for
back
another
again.
hour.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things where you're like, I got this, and I've been in the place where I needed it, right? So if I have this, why can I not let people use it and make it accessible to those people specifically? And that's why the commudio specifically, the name is Community Studios, two in one.
I noticed that.
Right. Yeah. So
And that was the purpose, the intention behind
the
it.
intention behind it was to get the youth, the youngins, man, in the studio and just get him. You don't even have to record. You can watch me mix. You can watch me master. You can, we had people come through and just paint. Yeah, we just wanted to create a spot where it's just like the tagline is a space where community meets in the studio, right? And yeah, you pull up even you don't have nothing to do. You want to be inspired by artists, just pull up.
Because it gives you a chance to see other different
People at
creatives
work.
in their element, doing their thing.
Yeah. So that was the goal, and obviously things happens in terms of like the pandemic, in terms of like rent, in terms of like, and that's where you can never look away from the finance aspect of it, right? But to me, where the line draws, where the line is drawn is, are you asking more than you need? Because then that's when you start making it not accessible to people, right? But if you need this bottom line to function, if you get this quota, you're good, right? So why make it harder for everybody else?
I got a question for you on that. So okay, you have to be able to make enough money to cover your expenses, right?
Yeah.
But you also want to provide a service. Like your intention behind making the commudio is to have a studio where you can have community, give young people a chance, give people a chance to come in and watch that art, right? So how do you balance like paying for your expenses and making a profit with like providing the opportunity for people without like because you're trying to make money still, but you're also trying to like how do you balance that?
So you do. I think it's the same stuff, but like probably running a business, but also giving back to the community.
Yeah,
I guess.
I get the answer is in the question. The answer is balancing. Even though the question is about balancing, but the answer is literally balancing, because you have to just. The reality is you need money to function as a business. That's just reality, right? But the community aspect of it is when you start looking at things like scheduling, right? Saying, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is open for community. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is business as usual, right? And that's when it turns into a studio, for example. Just looking at models that works for both and just creating those windows that are specifically for this community, and then these other windows specifically for this community, and separating them, because the moment you start mixing them up, it also becomes a problem, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So if this is community, then this is the window for community. If this is money, right? And you've come to one of our events that we put together with La Conexión. That's one of those ways to give back. Charge was free. Like you don't pay nothing. You just come and dance. Expenses on us. And if we do make something off the bar, we make something off the bar. But the whole idea is to just bring people out and give them a good time, right? Yeah.
I like that a lot. I like that intention behind what you're doing a lot. My question that I have for you is, so you're doing lots of different things, right? Audio engineering, you're running your studio, you also have a podcast, you're doing other things as well. So what would you say is like the most important, I guess, like personality trait that someone in your career, your industry should have to be successful?
I don't know. I can guess, because I'm obviously not at the level I want to be. But there's things that are just a given, right? Like you gotta be consistent, for example. That's just a given in anything that you do, right? You gotta be passionate about it.
Okay.
And you gotta you gotta wake up wanting to do this thing, right? Yeah, and your heart has to be in the right spot. Yeah, because if you're doing something with this end goal, but in your mind you have another end goal, that is different from what you're telling people, then somehow it collides, you know.
Oh, always. Yeah.
And it collapses at the end of the day. So you just have to be true to yourself, and then once you find that one thing that you're really about, be passionate about it and be consistent. And just
Skills remaining. I don't know if
Work.
I don't know if you follow him. Patrick Bet David. I don't know if you've heard of him before.
No.
I should look him up. Literally what you just said. Same idea. I think I was telling you. So he has like a 20 rule. So the first 20 years of your life, try to avoid any crazy stuff. No jail. Don't be in a car where you can get caught having drugs, something like that, or having a kid, whatever. Avoid that. To the next 20 years, it was like find one stuff and focus on that stuff. Like put 100% something you're passionate about, and put 100% of that into your life, like into for the next 20 years. And it was like, I'll tell you the crazy goal. It was like by the age of 40, it was like have 100 million in your account. Like not the net worth, like how much you actually, like your net worth, how much you. When I heard that, I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like, but then he said something. It was like, there's no way as a man, like if you or anyone actually, you focus something for the next 20 years of your life, 100% that you can make it, especially when you're consistent.
yeah.
And then if like that was so it falls back to like what you said, where you were like passion, like you gotta be consistent, stuff like that. So just
Yeah,
remember that
it's
in my
about
head.
consistency, and it's like on the other side, it's also knowing when to quit, and that's another big thing, right?
True.
And that's where we started when we talked about failure altogether.
Yeah.
People associate quitting with failure, and I'm not a quitter. I'm not. But like like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing.
over and over, expecting a different result.
Like how far do you go until you start realizing, like I gotta.
So I have a
go
question.
ahead.
Maybe I don't know if it'll be the same stuff you want to say, but might be the same, might not be the same. But my question is, when does someone know when to quit? Cause like,
The connection.
Cause like
Yeah.
it might be. This is how I see it. It might be you might be bushing like working hours for the next 5 years, different clients. Like when am I gonna get there? And it might just be the moment you quit. It might be the clients after you quit that you might have that breakthrough. So my question to you is, when do you think is like okay, when you get to this point, it's time for you to quit?
It's different for everybody. I don't think there's a universal thing about it. But for me, I think, for me personally, I know when it's time to quit when I look at the amount of energy I've invested in something, versus what return. Yeah, and then versus also the passion that I still have right now. Is this passion? Is this fake passion or is it passion?
Yeah.
And when it starts feeling like, this is the best way to say it, when something starts feeling like work for me, that's it.
Okay.
Done. Game over.
Yeah.
I don't care 5 years, 10 years. If I wake up and it doesn't feel like a passion, it
You're
feels
not,
like
you're
work.
not excited to go and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like
That's
it feels like doing a regular 9 to 5 job.
So,
Yeah.
but what if you have days where okay, say for the podcast, I really love doing the podcast, right? But say we're booked for the whole week, double back
gassed
to
out.
back.
You get
It's
gassed
gonna
out.
feel like work. So how do I know when maybe I'm just pushing myself too hard as opposed to it's actually not a passion for me anymore?
Like again, the whole passion. To get to anything, you have to put in the work for sure. And yeah, it is work as much as it is our passion. There's efforts that we have to put in, right?
Yeah.
But the moment those efforts are no longer exciting for you,
Okay.
the moment you're starting to think, do I put this energy in this thing or do I put it in this other thing?
Okay.
Then you're like,
So I have a question to that though, because there's one I like operating like a reality based mindset, which is like I agree with you in the sense of when you start feeling like work, but there's some days where you're like it actually feels like that passion is not gonna be there. You know what? So what I mean by this is just like what he said. You have a back to back podcast, like guests coming in. You have to go back to back to edit those stuff. At that, it's gonna get to a point where it's gonna feel like work. You're gonna be like, I want to take a break from this.
I think where I see things differently from y'all is, for example, if I'm in your shoes, for example, given that example, the reason why it's starting to feel like work is because you're here doing the podcast, and then going behind the scenes and editing, and then doing the marketing, and then doing everything, right? And that's when that division of labor is important. So, for example, for my podcast, right, I have literally my job is to pull up, invite the guest, pull up, sit down, talk, and then Dave, we call him Soundman Dave, grabs it and then cuts everything. I hate editing video. And then we go back and forth with the audio. I would put input here, I'll put input here, but generally everything is always good. Dave is an amazing sound tech. He's an amazing engineer
Shout
himself.
out to Dave.
Soundman Dave.
So
like, if for me, I understand that my passion is not editing video. My passion is to come to this mic and talk about this issue.
Okay.
So I guess what you're saying is, so I'm gonna follow up with a question. So what you're saying is try and build a team. I'm guessing
A team is important.
Okay, good. Now the next question I have for you is, when do you know to build a team?
And how do you
how do you choose a team?
choose a team? Because what if you choose?
I think Michael can talk better on that.
Because
Michael is the team guy.
Because like, no, the reason why I asked that question is because it falls back to the same guy I mentioned. Because right now I'm actually like deep in his stuff. So Patrick Bet Dave, you guys should check him out. Amazing. I think he's trying to value entertainment or something like that. So he was like, he actually mentioned it. Find something you're passionate about, build a team. I can't fully remember the other steps, but I built a team. And I know you mentioned it. I'm pretty sure everyone knows this guy, Gary V.
Oh, of course.
Exactly. So
Gary.
I was watching a episode of him and we were talking with a guy, and the guy was like asking him, when do you know when to build a team? And Gary V was like, right now at the spot you are, don't even think about it. It was like, develop your skill to a point where you know that you're good. And then, because then when you have that skill, so say for example, you're good at you're good at video editing, for example. If you want to hire somebody on your team, if you're good at video editing, you know what you're looking for. You know the style you have. You know what your podcast is about. It's just like when I was telling you about like we should get an editor for the podcast. You said something like, "What if the quality drops?" Then I thought I was like, you know what, that actually makes sense because we have a style of what the podcast looks like. We have an energy we're trying to push. If we develop our skill to the point where we know, okay, this is what I'm looking for, this is the exact stuff, it's easier to pick the person you're looking for. So my question for you is, like, when do you know to build a team? And like you said, how do you build a team? I'm just curious. Because like,
you build a team when you cannot expect the team to take your vision, because you have to start first, right?
Okay.
You have to start.
Okay.
And then once you start, then when work gets too much, like you're saying, that's when you know, okay, I need to bring in somebody to at least do the cuts before I come in to edit.
Okay.
Because you don't want to drop that quality.
Okay.
At some point, that's also gonna get too much when you have back to back, right?
Okay.
So then you're like, okay, so I have I've worked with this person enough times that they understand what we're looking for. Okay, now you're the editor, right?
Yeah.
This person is the video person. Then that's when you start building a team, because then you start looking at how much. Because I understand. I agree with the concept of trying and walking as far as you can first. Right. Because then you set the tone. If anybody joins you to join your team, they know what they're working into. Right.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, work does get too much. For me as an artist, for example, I struggle a lot with things like being a mixing engineer is a blessing and a curse, especially having passion for it. I never turn down anybody who sends me a track to mix. I never say I have my own stuff to work on, right? As a result, I'll go for 4 years without doing a show, right? Because I'm too busy doing the behind the scenes stuff, right? But say the moment I started realizing that I might have to get into this situation where I just put everybody on hold, right? Or maybe bring on another engineer who's gonna be taking care of all that, right? At least for me, the steps that I had to make to address that for myself is I decided I wasn't gonna mix my own stuff, right? Because work piles up, number one, and I'm never satisfied with my own stuff. So I'm just like, you know what? To avoid that work, my job is for my own music, my job is to write and record it, and then I'm gonna send it to somebody else to do the job, right? And then also the concept of a team to me, sometimes it's like, you hire people, you pay them. Usually that's the most effective way. But there's reality. We're in Edmonton, Alberta, where our premier is Jason Kenney.
That's the question.
So-
But that's for people in the country you understand. For people in that you understand. But for
Yeah.
us,
So without getting too political,
Yeah.
is the reality is people don't have money to hire a team, especially for
Yeah.
if you're in the multimedia entertainment
Yeah,
that's
industry,
true.
right?
That's true.
Yeah. So what you do is you just look at people like-minded,
Yeah.
right, and you make money together. Michael is been great with me, man. Michael joined us probably. I've known him for like years and years. We've been saying, "Oh, let's
Shout out
work,
to
let's
Michael.
work, let's work," but things happens
Yeah.
and people get busy, whatever, right? But this whole year we got together. We have this other team, Orchard Lane Media, that does video, and yeah, it's just a team of like they don't come there saying how much am I getting paid an hour.
Yeah.
But we all of us understand that that's the end game. That's where we want to get.
Yeah, when you get them.
But
yeah.
right now, how can we as a team function? How can I support you,
Yeah.
and you support me to get us to that point where we all eat together, right? So if we get a gig that pays $1,000, I'm gonna get 500. He could get 500,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then hopefully what we try to do is if we get this one gig, we're trying to do the best we can so it can get us a bigger gig.
Yeah.
And a bigger gig. So if instead of 500, the next gig is gonna get us 1,000 a
1,000,
piece.
yeah.
The next one is gonna get us 2,000 a
2,000
piece,
piece,
right?
yeah.
And it's just like if people are dedicated, you're talking about dedication. If you're one person dedicated, you can go so far. And I imagine if there's 5 of us that are as
You can go
dedicated,
big. Yeah.
you can go even further.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. Yeah.
But one thing I was gonna ask you, you said, is that whenever when you started commudio, right?
Yeah.
No one is gonna have the same vision. No one's gonna have the same vision and drive for it like you will.
Yeah.
Like you can build a team, but they're not gonna have that same. Like they might be like-minded and they want to build different aspects of it. I feel like in a way that it supports your vision.
Yeah.
But they're not gonna have the same exact
Drive.
vision or the same drive for your
Yes.
thing. So how do you realize that and then adapt with incorporating other people with not having that, with them knowing that they don't have the same vision as you?
I think the best way to look at it is I don't think the end game, in my opinion, is to look for somebody who shares the vision as you. At the end of the day, for me, when I think about it, this is how far I've gone. Now I start looking at what I'm missing,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And I can be like, oh, this person can add. I need a videographer. I don't have to say I need a videographer who has the same vision as me to make the commudio this, to make the commudio that. No, just a videographer. And whenever I need video, hey, this is the style of video I'm looking for, right? So you just see what you're missing and just see the people who have the skill,
Okay.
as opposed to looking at the people who have the vision, because the same vision as you.
Okay.
Because that's gonna be rare. Nobody's gonna get in your head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just find it more effective to get to that point where you done everything you can, and now you're at that point where you need help, and then
Yeah.
you look back. Okay, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this, and that's when a team functions, right?
Yeah.
In a sense, it's
like
like a mini company.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own department.
Yeah.
Right.
Their own
Okay.
thing that they can-
Videography. I need this.
Yeah, marketing.
Audio. I need this. Marketing. This.
That was
you know.
a big one.
And then it just becomes a well-oiled machine that just functions, right?
You know, because I know for a fact that when you have a team, you can take let's say for example in a month you're making like 10 grand. I'm not trying to exaggerate, but when you have a good team around, you can take 10 grand to like 50, 60 a month, especially when you have a good team.
Easy, man.
'Cause-
Yeah, easy. Because imagine, I'll use the same example as a musician, right? You have to write your music. You have to, if you're a producer, you have to make your beats. You have to record your stuff. You have to mix your stuff, and then you have to look for shows. You have to be an artist, and then you have to be your own manager.
Yeah, business.
Imagine if
Yeah.
somebody took all of that and said, "I got you. I cannot rap, but I know business.
Yeah.
I can manage you." Imagine if they took that off your plate, what you can do.
True.
Because
Right.
you don't have to extra stress have to
That's
worry
true.
about that.
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
So, Alan, what question that I have for you is, through all your life so far that you've lived, all the experiences that you've had, and you've had like some crazy experiences from young too, right? So through all those experiences that you've had, what would you say what's the biggest obstacle or struggle that you faced?
Yeah.
And what would be the biggest thing that you learned from it, and how did you overcome it?
The biggest obstacle is in the business that we're in, the entertainment industry, and the landscape we're in. It's slowly starting to catch up. It's slowly starting to match. But biggest challenge is to come to a spot that is, say, when I first got here, it was like 63% Ukrainian, and try to sell them hip hop. That's different, right? Now, later on, try to go, like, there's this stereotype, oh yeah, black people go to a club, there's like gunshots, things like that. Then you're not getting booked into these clubs. So you're not getting booked for festivals. You're not respected, right? So, but things that kind of go along those lines of the respect level that comes with our art were very challenging, and we had to quickly do things like, for example, we had to come up with bands in hip hop. Alberta, probably Edmonton, is one of the only cities in Canada that has hip hop bands.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah. If there's a lot, there's like 3 other cities, if that. But Edmonton is one of those cities because we had to adapt. We're looking at the white folks like, oh yeah, they're getting booked because they got the bands,
band, yeah.
right? If I pull up with my DJ, I'm
Yeah.
going to, they're going to look at me like, you're just that other guy who's going to bring a gang,
Yeah,
and
true.
then a guy, gun violence will erupt after the show. So you kind of have to
To
look at the
kinda
climate and
adapt.
adjust,
Yeah.
right? So that's an
Adjust.
element that we had to bring in, and
Yeah.
that's one where we adjusted. And then also as a business, just being taken legit, man, being taken legit, because and I think this one, I hate to say it, but it has a lot to do with the race, right? It has a lot
Yeah.
to do with the race, because
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine who, well, I used to have a friend, musician who would record in the basement, a white guy. And anytime he would apply for a grant, he would get like $20,000 to record a CD. And you have a business trying to apply for the same grants.
You can't get.
You don't even get an answer. You don't even get a, no, we're not going to give you this grant.
Yeah.
And it's like, where's the disconnect, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of, you see it, but then you learn to
Yeah.
function without it.
Yeah.
One thing that I've learned in this business is the power of people. Yeah, like when we did that event and 400 people showed up,
Yeah.
that's power.
Yeah.
That's
It is.
power. Any grant you go apply for, after that event, you will get it. But you have to do extra. You have to do extra work to prove yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, it's an interesting one.
Yeah. It's a tough right out here, bro.
is.
Yeah.
So would you say that, because from kind of when I got there from there, is that the struggles of having to adapt in this new environment, in this landscape, right?
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that helps you overcome is always being able to adjust to whatever,
Yeah.
whatever environment.
Yeah.
So now, okay, coming here, maybe you didn't want to be in a band, maybe you just wanted to do solo, but because seeing how things operate and how it might be the best way to move forward in your music, okay, get a band, right? So that you're adjusting so that you can make progress, right?
Yeah.
So
It's
like
a lot of, it definitely requires a lot of adjusting. And one thing that you always go through as an artist is try not to lose yourself in the process just to please somebody, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you also got to eat. So you're like, okay, how much is too much adjustment, right?
True.
How much is acceptable versus unacceptable? And that answer is different
To everyone.
to every artist, right? Yeah, for me, the best way to do it was to just start my own stuff. And just don't depend on anybody. If you look at the commudio is everything. Commudio is a studio. Commudio is a promotion thing. Commudio is an event space. Commudio is everything, right? So if we build it to the point where we want it to be, say in 5 years, I will not need a promoter to book me for K days.
True.
Because we have our own festival
Yeah.
that is pulling 400-500 people.
Yeah. True.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, you don't want me in your spot. I'll make my own
I'll
Yeah.
make my
spot
own,
over
yeah.
here.
Create your own
Yeah.
opportunity.
Instead of, yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart.
Create your own
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah, and then people start coming after that. Hey, next time we do an event, oh yeah, we'll sponsor you. When I needed you the most to
So you
host
do
my
that,
first
yeah.
event,
Yeah, they went there.
Okay, I have a question. How do you manage that? Because, like, it's hard. I mean, okay, for me speaking personally, I feel like sometimes it's hard to not bring emotion into it. Like, say I invite somebody to be a guest on the podcast, and maybe they agreed, right? And then later on down the road, they don't show up, but they already agreed to it, you know, and they don't show up. And I'm asking them, I'm like, hey, like, are you coming? Nothing, right?
Yeah.
But then maybe they're doing it because maybe the podcast is too small or whatever, right? Or they don't have time, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? But then say the podcast, you know, it blows up now and it's big. And then they're like, hey, you know, I'm free now.
Yeah.
How do you manage? Because, like, how do you not, like, you still have to be a business, right? But, like, man,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, and it hurts. Like, okay, I gotta stop swearing. I gotta stop swearing. It hurts like a mother. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you gotta just have to understand that that's the nature of the beast. It's business, right? If somebody hits me up on a business level, I look at what, like, yeah, if you need this service from me, but what am I getting from this,
Yeah.
right? That's it's an interactional.
Yeah.
It's an interaction. Sorry, it's transactional.
Yeah.
Transactional.
Business. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the same way, if I invite you to my podcast and you don't pull up, and then 30 years from now, the podcast is big and you're hitting me up, I'm gonna look what value you're gonna bring,
Yeah. That's true.
right? And I'm gonna call you out on that shit too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, yo, you didn't pull out. That's gonna be my introduction.
Yeah.
No, really.
Like, this guy,
When I needed you the most, you're not
didn't pull
here.
up, yeah.
Now that you see we're here, but it's all good. We're gonna keep going. I'll put it out there. I'll say it, right?
Okay.
But if you're bringing value to my podcast, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
because what I gotta realize is that, especially in this day and age,
Yeah.
a lot of people. I think the human stuff is like, okay, if you approach me, I'm like, okay, because like you want my time, like, what am I getting out of this? You know, that's what I was saying. Like, that's one thing I really noticed about business, especially when you're starting out. Try your best not to, when you're talking to people, don't try and show them. Don't try and get something out of them. Try and give them something.
Yeah.
That's what I learned recently.
It's initially that's what it is, right? But then you quickly start learning that everybody different,
Yeah, true.
right? And that's the key thing that I kept saying is you gotta find a way to stay true to yourself throughout anything.
Yeah.
Because in business, honestly, your investment is your word.
Yeah.
You know, like there's people who would like just your word, man. Your word counts a lot. Your word counts a lot, and you gotta be able to. That's why I felt bad that I was late.
Yeah.
When I said 7:30, it's 7:30, right? Even just as a respect thing, I gotta respect your time,
Yeah.
right? Obviously, things happens that are out of my control, but just those things. And if I say, yo, I'm gonna give you a recording session for free, I'm gonna give you a recording session for free, and I'm gonna give you that session. I'm gonna give you that service as if you're paying me the most.
Yeah.
You know, and those things take you a long way, man. Just even in life, not just business.
It's business, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you also just get to a point where you start running into those folks that are just
Want to use you.
want to use you,
I
right?
know
And
what
that's
you're
when you gotta draw that line
Yeah.
quick. And
Yeah.
now you gotta be like, okay, you gotta use me, cool. But what am I getting
Get out of
anything
it.
from
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
if I'm not, then
Let's
keep
call
it
quits.
pushing.
Yeah, that's another thing. No one meant to walk away. That's just key.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
key. It's
To-
key.
yeah,
It's
knowing when to walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you see, and it's very easy to spot those people that are trying to use you. As long as you keep your eyes open, it's easy.
Yeah, man.
Because like especially when you're doing a service for them, and then they're like trying to extract more from you but not pay you more, or they're trying to extract more from you, and then they're not giving you like referrals and stuff like that, you be like, okay, why am I doing this much for this guys when they're not actually?
I've done shows, man. I've done shows where a promoter got paid to book us, and there's doors. People are getting charged $50 at the door for VIP, and people are getting charged $20 for regular. And there's a bar. They're getting money, like money's coming in.
Yeah.
And you have this idiot coming to you saying, "Yo, you're performing for 100 people though. That's exposure." My guy.
When you're getting paid and getting
My guy.
Yeah.
When the 30th come and I have to pay rent for my studio, I'm gonna say I got exposure.
I got you an exposure.
But I say,
Don't worry, I get you exposure.
You know, when my truck runs out of gas on the highway, I'm gonna go to the gas station and be like, "Yo,
I'll give you exposure.
like, what are you talking
That's
about?"
true.
Especially
I like
if you're getting paid.
That's true.
Especially if you're getting paid to book people.
Yeah.
And it's those things like that you just have to. It don't matter. Is it worth? Is my dignity? Is my art? Is my just
Worth
me
that, yeah.
worth being here for that kind of disrespect?
Especially when if you've mastered the skill, I'm sorry, get paid. Find
And
ways
it
to
don't
get
even
money.
mean that you won't do a show for free, because I
Yeah.
will, right?
Yeah.
But let's just be honest with each
Yeah.
other, right? Like
Pay up for my time.
if you hit me up and say, "Yo, I am planning this show and I have no money whatsoever," bro, I would do the show,
Yeah.
no problem.
Just be honest.
Yeah, no worries. But if you're gonna have money, that's a different case.
yeah.
And I might even be the one to tell you, "Yo, don't pay me because I know the money's too little, whatever," right? But just that honesty goes a long way.
Yeah.
Right, and there's a lot of those people, man, in the industry, and probably most of y'all can
So
see
much.
it, right?
Oh, so much.
And you will see it with your podcast, man. Like we started with the commudio. We did this thing. It was Cabin Fever series
Okay.
when they locked us down in pandemic, and we're like, nobody artists have booked all these shows and they can't do them now. Okay, let's just artists wants to do these shows and people are not going out, but they want to see these shows as well. So let's just do this thing where we do an online concert series. And that was Cabin Fever series. And every Sunday we would do a live thing on Facebook. We would have the audience interact with us and interact every weekend. We would book a different artist. Man, like the first few, the amount of artists I reached out to that are my homies, bro. That are my homies.
Yeah.
But just didn't believe, I was like, "Yo, like, you pull up, man." It's usually that simple. Pull up, there's a show. Bring your band. Do this, do that. It's an hour. It's 45 minutes. It's that simple, right? No. How you tell me you're doing social distancing and I see you at a party? It don't make sense, right? And then the thing starts getting 2,000 views, 3,000 views here. Like it started growing, and I get the phone calls.
Yo.
That's true.
Yeah, I straight up I said, "I don't need you, bro," because I sat down the same thing. I sat down and said, "Yo, what value are you gonna bring?"
Yeah.
There's no value.
I
don't need you. At that point, you get the choice, right?
Yeah.
No, that's why I think it was the same thing with Carrie. Carrie said it was like when you start out, don't even try and get your homies to market your business. Like come into your business. Don't look for them as customers. If they come, good, but don't look at them as customers because like I do.
Feelings gonna get hurt.
Because exactly.
Yeah.
Bro, nah,
man, get
especially when you're starting out, they're like, nah, man, you're in your small business.
Yeah.
Like those kind of
Mini
words,
grind.
but I love it though. I use that as motivation. I love that stuff.
That's why you gotta separate your thing, man. Like Curry is right, 100%. Like I hate when people come to my shows to support me. I hate it with a passion, and I'm sorry if anybody's watching and they've done it. I hate it. I really do. I'm sorry. Don't come to my show to support me. No, come to my show because you want to enjoy a show because I am. You like my
stuff,
my stuff.
Yeah.
Not to support me. If you're there not enjoying it, I don't want to torture you. I'm
I
sorry.
don't want no fake love. I want real love.
Yeah, it's not even fake. Like I appreciate the effort. You going out of your way to come listen to shit you probably don't even like.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I say it's fake because like they don't like. That's what I'm saying. It's fake because like you're supporting me when you don't like it. When you can, especially for homeboys, like if you don't like it, you're like yo, bro, like yo, you gotta work on your shit.
Yeah.
But then when they come like, yeah, the dancing to the music
And
they're like,
everything's
meanwhile,
great. Come
meanwhile behind the scenes they're like, yo, this guy's singing trash, bro.
Yeah. I really, because also as an artist, you don't develop. Because
people are not being honest.
You look at it and you're like, oh, I'm packing up spots.
Yeah.
Right? But these people go home and, like you say, talk about you or this or that,
that
right?
music is trash.
about it like
Yeah,
that, actually.
bro. That's why, bro. I genuinely, people that already know, I try not to have you guys as like customers, whatever. No, I don't know you. Like I know you, but I don't want you as a customer,
Bro.
Because then right there, if I do pictures, like I take a bad picture, or like, yo, bro, oh, this is nice, but behind the scenes, you're like, bro, this is whack.
Yeah.
Bro, you don't even understand, man. Like, it's for me. I would rather perform for one person and know that this person is
like
genuinely
Really enjoy
here
it,
to
really
like
enjoy
me,
it. Yeah.
right? Than perform for 30, 40 people that that are just there to support me,
yeah.
right? Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. But
Genuine. It's not that it's not genuine, but like genuine love for your art.
Your career
not
as a whole, yeah.
Not
because you're
genuine
my
love for
friend.
you, but as a person, but for your art.
yeah, because when it's realistic, when you do a show and one person shows up, then in your head you're like, oh, how do I make this two people?
So you
Okay,
can
two
get
people.
better.
How do I make it three people? You can start looking into working in your art more, so you can expand it.
yeah.
You can
True,
expand that
true,
fan
true.
base, right? But
Yeah.
if a bunch of people show up, they're like, "Oh yeah, I think it's good," and nobody ever say you performed horribly, even though we did a show, man. Oh my god, like horrible. The band is horrible because not that the band was bad, but the setup kind of got screwed over last minute.
Yeah.
So the band is like panicking and I came off the stage, man, and I was embarrassed even performing because you're watching and then people are leaving left, right, and center.
Damn.
And then you come off the stage and you go back and people, great job, man. I'm like, no, I saw you leave, bro. I saw you leave, bro.
Like, no, I saw you, bro.
I saw you with the red hat. I saw you turn over there. Yeah, don't come here tell me it's a great. It was a bad show. A monkey could tell you it was a bad show.
But okay, but this is the thing. This is one thing. How do you even if it was a bad show, that person put their time and their effort into it. So even you could still tell them the truth, but you gotta tell them in a way that's not like.
Nah. See,
we're homies though.
bro,
No,
listen,
no,
see.
we're homies though. Tell me, bro.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, listen. Like, if I call you my homie, I like, bro, we're chilling outside the creative side. My guy, bro. See, if I'm taking bad pictures, doing something bad, even if you have to. This is the difference. You can still put your point across, but still be respectful.
Be
Okay,
respectful.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Because, like, bro, even you, bro, we call each other out on our stuff, but like,
100%.
there's still that respect.
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest thing. Because, like, now, for example, like, you give that example, the performance didn't go well. I'm not gonna be in public and be like, yo, bro, you're a bum.
Yeah.
Nah, that's embarrassing.
That's what I mean.
But like, if I'm like, yo, bro, like, yo, if I call you inside, like, yo, bro, like, yo, listen, I'm proud of you, like, you actually did this, but bro, you could have done better.
That's
what
I
you
mean.
can work
You
on.
still
This
can
is
work
what-
on something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I
But
mean.
no,
Constructive criticism.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
instead of you just going like, oh, bro, that was ass. Like, because then I'm gonna be like, yo, bro, especially if it's from somebody that I care about, I'll be like, yo, bro, screw this guy, man. Even though, like, I'm still gonna work, like, it's just how you
say it.
how you say it. You can still say it. It's just how you say it.
Bun
Yeah.
emotions, bro. Still, honestly, this is my own personal stuff. You can tell me any criticism, whatever. I'm okay with it. It's just the key thing is that respect.
Yeah.
As long as it's respect, I don't care. Like, it doesn't move me that much. I'm like, okay, I try to understand where you're coming from, but the moment you start dissing me, and like, oh, bro, you waste or something like that, or whatever. Or for example, or like I said that example, like in the public where I just finished doing a show, and then right there when there's people around me that I don't even know, like people that are just trying to come to see my craft, and then you're like, yo, bro, you're bum, something like that. That's a different situation. But like, if you call me inside, I'm like, yo, bro, you could have improved it. Like, you can do better. Even if you say it in a roasting way, that's okay. But I don't know.
Yeah.
The creative industry is it's a weird industry.
And
bro.
sometimes you need those. It's a balance of both, right? And there's the haters. The haters that are never satisfied with anything.
Yeah.
I think there's people that just have
Just
to
wanna
say
hate.
no, not even just want to hate, but they just want to have a say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what I
Into
know
something.
though? You know something though? When you have haters, it means you're doing something right.
That's what I'm saying. You need.
That's
Bro,
correct.
you need
That's
it.
correct.
You need
Because
that.
like, bro,
correct.
I'm lying to you. When I see that stuff, bro, I genuinely use it as motivation, bro.
Yeah.
Bro,
like
look
it.
at them like,
Yeah.
you know what? I
It's
bet.
fuel.
I told my boy Selassie that the other day.
fuel.
He dropped this song and he was just like, he was exploding, and he got more dislikes on YouTube than the likes.
Yeah.
And I called him. I was like, bro, you made it.
Yeah.
Facts,
bro.
That's like 30 people that listen to this thing and chose to click the dislike
Dislike,
button.
yeah.
Effort
You
to put
made
the
it.
effort to click that
You
button.
made it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
legit. Because you gotta, like, if you start getting that reaction out of people, that means people are listening,
Yeah.
right? And I'm not saying nobody. I don't think anybody sits here and says you have to like my stuff. No, you don't have to like my stuff.
choice.
But just give it a fair shot.
Yeah.
Just listen
No
to it.
publicity is bad publicity.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
but yeah,
Always.
but give it a shot. Listen to it and judge it for what it is, right?
Yeah.
Don't start comparing me to Kanye West or
Yeah.
anything
Yeah,
like
for
that.
me,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
Kanye West, bro.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
Alan. Listen to
Yeah.
Alan for what Alan is, you know.
Yeah. True, true.
And give me constructive criticism.
True.
I'll rock with it, you know.
Appreciate it. Anytime, any day.
Yeah, man.
Sir. Anyways.
So, Alan, just on that note, tell the people all the things that you're working on. You know, tell them what you're working on, what's coming up.
Call the secretary.
Call the secretary. You know,
joking.
tell
I don't have one
let
of
them know
those.
anything that you
I
have
wish.
coming up. Let them know where they can find all the stuff that you're doing as well.
Yeah. I'm right now working on the pretty much shifting from summer to winter.
It's a cool
Guys
season.
already, this guy's
Yeah.
already in the winter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
already, man,
It's
already.
coming.
Yeah,
It's
'cause
coming
there's,
already, bro.
there's things we won't be able to do anymore
Yeah.
in terms of outdoors, right? So we gotta start getting into
You know, the jacket.
gear for the
Mentally
jacket
prepare
ones.
for
Yeah,
that, bro.
cuffing season.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I sneaked it in.
yeah, so we got a couple shows that we're working on, including my own show,
I bless
which is
you.
gonna be the first show in I want to say 4 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
bless.
yeah.
Okay.
That's gonna be sometime in November. I think the dates will be coming out soon.
Okay.
Working on another big show with Uzila. That's sometime in December. Planning something. Essentially, it's like a whole party,
Okay.
but a whole party kind of reinvented.
Okay.
There's the old school regular whole party, but then we want to bring what we did out that
Yeah,
other
yeah,
show.
yeah,
we want to
yeah.
bring it into a
It's-
whole
it's-
party now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so create a vibe
okay.
there, and you
Oh,
know,
bless.
yeah.
Okay.
So
It was lit. Just so you guys know.
yeah. So we're trying to. Obviously, security is the biggest thing
Mm-hmm.
because one of the concerns that I hear when we talk about whole parties is the shootings and
Yeah.
the people coming with machetes and all that. That's the kind of details we're trying to work out to make sure that when we do it, people feel safe to come there and
Yeah.
and at the same time balance it with how much security is invasive versus how much security is necessary. But we want people to feel safe, so we're working on that. Just a bunch of music for myself. Yeah,
And we're gonna be dropping all those the links so we can find the music too as well.
for sure. You can find my stuff at Alain Intwali, ALAIN _INTWALI. That's a long name.
Don't worry.
I feel like I'm
It's
reading
dropped.
an essay every
Don't
time I
worry,
say
it's
my
gonna
name.
get dropped. Don't even worry.
Yeah, that's
You don't want to have to remember it off the top of your head. Don't worry.
yeah. That's my IG. I'm not, and people gonna hate me for this one, but I'm not on Twitter like that yet.
Nah, bro.
Alright,
See,
nah.
avoid that shit, bro.
I'm not on Twitter.
I'm
I can't lie.
Nigerian, bro. Trust me, bro. Avoid, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, I think it's a difference, bro. Nigerian, like Twitter itself, bro. I avoid that because, bro, one tweet you can blow up in one tweet, but you can also go down in one tweet. You can see
Block Twitter, bro.
Bro,
I go there to watch the news.
Bro,
Who we canceling this week?
run that
It's getting
stuff.
canceled.
But the good thing about Twitter is that, bro, if you post the right content, dog, you can.
To be honest with you, I'm gonna sound old as hell. I'm not old, but I don't even know how Twitter works.
Honestly,
Honestly, bro.
but honestly, I'm with you. I don't know.
I go there, I'm like,
so I can't even. I actually don't know how Twitter works.
Yeah, I know retweeting something.
Yeah, retweeting, yeah.
Yo,
I know retweeting, I know liking. That's it.
I'm only looking at sports tweets, so I mean, I don't even have. I don't know, man.
Yeah, but yeah, and then the commudio is the way you hear it. VTHECOMMUDIO. I hope that was correct.
Boom, 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 boom,
Link.
boom.
Link.
The link.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Easier way.
Got a bunch of things happening. I guess just follow those, and we'll be announcing things.
Don't worry, we're gonna drop all those links in there so you guys can get that.
Yes, sir.
So Ori,
Question. Is my guy ready?
What are we doing here?
you thought it was good. I just did that so you get. I wanted to get everything out of you. I wanted to get you comfortable, man.
So
it was a trick. So it's like because we actually the other way before usually.
It was a filter. If it was a filter, we made like we think it's over.
Oh
but
damn!
Yeah,
Okay,
it's over.
I feel like I needed you guys to sign a waiver.
No,
Because there's information
No,
that should not be released on camera.
No. This is a good one. This is a good one.
Okay.
So this question is gonna be. Let me make sure I say it the right way. I gotta make sure.
Hey, say it the wrong way. Who cares?
No. What? Yeah.
Pressure now.
No.
Hey,
What's your theory of the grind? I said it right. I said it right.
Yes, sir.
So
What
what's
is your
your
theory of the grind?
theory of the
Grind.
grind.
What does the grind mean to you? See what I'm saying?
Can I use other words like hustle?
Yeah, you could.
Same. No?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it means to me. Hustle. Hustle. Hustle is a big one that I can think of. Yeah.
Okay.
Hustle.
Hustle.
24/7, huh?
That's just-
Hustle bustle.
Hustle 24/7.
How did you say that?
She said hustle. She said I like the things. I like the things that I want to get the things that I want, or I like nice things or something like that. So in order to
gotta
get
hustle,
those things,
things
I
I
gotta
gotta
hustle.
hustle
I got my
24/7.
hustle is 24/7, and my grind
Something
is
like that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
It's
I see
nonstop.
what you're
Yeah, I was
talking
gonna
about.
get to drop the bars, but okay.
Okay.
Oh, you're trying to get me to drop bars. You see, I wasn't ready for that one.
Oh, I mean,
Hustle.
it's a one word of bop.
But still, that's still a strong one though. Hustle.
Yeah.
Hustle.
Because I can hustle is everything I can think of in one. You know what I mean? Like the passion, everything that I can think of just fall into that.
You need to. Your theory of the grind is you have to hustle.
I guess I can. Now that I understand the question better,
Okay, boom, ba.
is for me personally is work like today is your last day. Like you're not gonna be there tomorrow.
Bless.
Tomorrow's not
That's a
promised.
ba.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
tomorrow's
why
not promised.
try to not apply that theory on money though, because you
No,
go
no,
wrong way.
You're gonna go broke. No,
You get $1 million and spend it right now.
I ain't even gonna be here tomorrow.
When it comes to money, think about the generation
Yes, sir.
after you.
Oh, that's
but
the key.
for now, everything else for me is like do something like
There's no tomorrow.
like you're not gonna be tomorrow. You're not gonna be here tomorrow to finish it.
God
Type thing.
bless.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Bye for the day. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought y'all got like a R-rated part
no,
2
no,
to
no,
this
no,
thing.
no,
I'm
no.
like,
Oh, really?
No.
that's when I started bringing up waivers. I was like, what are we doing?
No.
No, man, no. It's at the that's the end question right there. You know.
No, this PG-13.
PG-13. Well,
But don't worry, we might be getting paid. Nah.
don't worry. We click the
Sooner or
button, man.
later,
It's
yeah,
not for
Patreon,
kids,
yeah.
man.
Eh?
It's not for kids.
Yeah, so sooner we might be getting patron. Don't worry.
Oh damn! I like that. You gotta invite me again.
We click the
I feel like
button,
there's
man.
a lot of things we need to take off the chest.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
I
Don't
say
worry.
less.
Hey, you heard that? You heard it here, huh? When
Hey,
Patreon
man.
comes out,
Let me
no,
know.
Patreon is already out.
It's
But we're
already-
gonna
it's
be
already-
on
yeah,
when we're
gonna be
on Patreon.
That's the right one.
When we're on Patreon.
Yeah. Or maybe you might do. You know, right now. there's a-
OnlyFans.
Yeah, OnlyFans. I was gonna say.
Yo.
I can't go behind that one, boss. I can't go behind that one.
Nah. But you know what though? It can be deceiving though. Imagine one like, yo, make sure you go check the OnlyFans, subscribe and everything, bruh. It is,
You can twist it. You can just put a
the
a
logo.
paw
Yeah.
down here in the middle of the table, right? and people are thinking something else is gonna happen after the show, right?
Oh my
Skill
god.
That's one way to keep people in.
Okay, I'm over.
Don't worry, the button is clicked, y'all. The button is clicked.
Oh, nobody. Yeah, Paul can be. That's an entertainment form. That's a form of sports, actually.
Yeah, it's
It's a dance. You know, it's
That
yeah.
takes a lot of core strength, man. It does.
I wouldn't know, as you can see.
I give up. I'm dead.
You gotta bring some spices in, you know.
Bring some sugar and spice. Hey, y'all.
Hey y'all, it was nice having
It
you.
was a pleasure
Pleasure.
having
Thank you
you.
so
Alan.
much.
It was a
Thank you so much.
And like he said, we'll be back with Patreon. But anyway, we will see you guys next week. Like always,
Yes, sir.
new episode of the Grand Theory Podcast coming.
Every Sunday.
For all those who are commenting, liking, subscribing,
Disliking.
and disliking,
I see you all. I watch you.
keep doing it.
Keep doing it. I love it.
Keep doing it.
I love it.
We need y'all.
I need y'all, but
We
just
need
do
y'all.
one thing for me. Make sure if you dislike or leave a comment on why, so we can improve. You know, we preach the 1% better every day.
1% better every
You
day.
don't preach it, we practice it too. So come on.
Somebody was saying something interesting. They said they should do the thumbs down. For Facebook should create thumbs down, and,
Yeah.
they should, and Instagram should create the broken heart.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Let me know how you
But-
feel about it.
Boom.
And we out.
We out.
Perfect.